factors, we can go back and look at our answers and find some greatest common factors. One more bit of information before we do this. Back when I did my fraction video and I was telling you guys that anytime the numerator, number on top, equals the denominator, that fraction equals 1. That makes sense, right? If you have a circle and it's cut into a certain amount of pieces, 3 pieces, so the denominator is 3, and every one of those pieces is shaded, 3 out of the 3 are shaded, then the whole thing is shaded. That equals 1. That's important because we know we can multiply by 1 and the number's going to stay the same. We can divide by 1 and the number's going to stay the same. Therefore, we can multiply and divide by a fraction where the numerator and the denominator are the same because we're just multiplying by 1. We're not really changing the value of the number. In fractions, it's going to change what it looks like, but it doesn't really change the value of the fraction, okay? Okay, so when we talk about simplest form, that means that we're looking for the smallest numerator and denominator as possible. I'm going to give you an easy example. If I have my circle and it's cut into fourths, and 2 of those fourths are shaded, sure, I could say that's 2/4. But that's not the easiest way to say this. Look at, if 2 of those fourths are shaded, really 1/2 of that circle is shaded. This is the simplest form. Because we could chop this up, not even in just in fourths, I could chop it up into eighths. And we could say it's 4/8. I could chop it up into 16ths. And we could say I have 8/16. I could chop it up into 30-seconds, and we'd have 16 30-seconds, right? These numbers can get bigger and bigger and crazier and more difficult to work with. That's why we always want to bring it back down to the simplest form. 1/2 is easy to deal with. That's why it's called simplest form. In order to do that, we need to find our greatest common factor. I know I'm saying words that are kind of like, hold on, wait a minute. It's okay. You've got this. It's just a different vocabulary. You guys can do this. If you need to watch this video over again, you can. No big deal. All right. So we looked at number 1, and we saw that the problem for number 1 here was 5/7 minus 4/7. 5/7 minus 4/7 equals 1/7. If your numerator is 1, you're already in the simplest form. The greatest factor of the number 1 is 1, and dividing by 1 doesn't change anything. So if your numerator is 1, you're good. Don't have to worry about it. Let's look at number 2. 3/4 minus 1/4. 3/4 minus 1/4. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Use the same denominator, 2/4. This is the example I just gave you. But let's look, okay, what are the factors of 2? Well, 1 and 2. That's as far as we can go there, okay? How about the factors of 4? Well, 1 and 4. It's even, so 2 goes in. Count by 2 so we get to 4. 2, 4, oh, 2 2s. Oh, this is another example of a square number. So here's the factors of 2. Here's the factors of 4. Let's look for the greatest common factor. That's the biggest number that's in both of these lists. Well, 2 is the greatest common factor between 2 and 4. Now, like it says here, it says write the difference in simplest form. Divide the numerator and denominator by their greatest common factor. Well, we've got the greatest common factor is 2. Divide the numerator and the denominator. We can do that. because remember, if we've got 2 over 2, that's just 1. We can divide by 1. It doesn't really change it. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. 4 divided by 2 equals 2. Just like we saw in that picture, 2/4 is really equal to 1/2. That's the simplest form. See, we're going to do 2 more together, and then you can finish this on your own, checking each of your answers and making sure they're in simplest form. Okay, number 3 says 3/10 minus 1/10. Well, 3 minus 1 equals 2. So 3/10 minus 1/10 is going to equal 2/10. First step, find the greatest common factor. We already know the factors of 2 are 1 and 2. Let's find the factors of 10. Are 1 and 10. 2 goes into it because it's even, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so it's 2 and 2 goes into 10 5 times. How about 3? 3, 6, 9, 12. Nope, 3 doesn't. 4. 4, 8, 12. No. 5, well, 5's already on the list. That means that we've come to the end of it. That means our factors for 10 are 1, 2, 5, and 10. What's the greatest common factor? 2. 2 is the biggest number that's on both lists. So we're going to divide the numerator and the denominator by 2. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. 1/5 is that fraction in simplest form. All right. Let's look at, I'm going to skip 4/8. I'm going to let, number 4, I'm going to let you know you are going to have to reduce that into simplest form. Let's look at number 5. That's going to have to be reduced. Take a look at it. Number 6, well, 3/10 minus 2/10 equals 1/10. I've already let you know if your numerator is 1, you don't need to reduce it. Number 7 is going to need to be reduced. Let's look at number 8. 4/5 minus 2/5. 4/5 minus 2/5. Well, 4 minus 2 equals 2. So 4/5 minus 2/5 equals 2/5. 4 minus 2 equals 2. Use the same denominator, 2/5. Let's see. Well, we've already talked about it several times. The factors of 2 are 1 and 2. What are the factors of 5? Well, they're 1 and 5. Does 2 go into 5? No, it's not an even number. How about 3? 3, 6? No. How about 4? 4, 8? No. And then we make it to 5. Well, look. The factors of 2 are 1 and 2. The factors of 5 are 1 and 5. The greatest common factor between these two is 1, and dividing by 1 doesn't do anything. So that means 2/5 is already in its simplest form. If the numerator and the denominator do not have a common factor greater than 1, if their only common factor is 1, it's already in simplest form. Okay, good job, guys. Go ahead and finish up, making sure that all of these are in simplest form.